Have you ever heard of Kfir and Ariel Bibas? These two boys, along with their parents, were kidnapped on October 7th. But you know what? Even Fox News, the only media, corporate media, pretty much globally from what I've seen, that says anything close to the truth about what's happened to Israel, not that what Israel's done, what's happened to Israel and how they've had to respond since October 7th. Kfir was 8 months old. His brother was 9 months old, not 8, 9 months. Their father was separated from his wife and his two children. He was constantly told that his kids were either dead, his wife was being tortured, nice little psychological shit to do to your hostages. Now, I want you to really stop and think. Because, have you heard of these two boys? Have you? The corporate media, pretty much globally, has ignored what has been done to Israel and how they only focus on how Israel responds and makes Israel sound like the aggressor. Not one, not even Fox, the negative propaganda bullshit station, the only one who tells anything close to the truth about Israel, has not mentioned these boys. I would really like you to just try and stop for half a second and think, if these boys were not Jewish, if it happened in any other circumstance, what do you think would happen? Do you think you'd know about them? We're not even sure if they're alive. My biggest fear is that Hamas will keep them between their brainwashing and their abuse. They'll teach them to hate themselves. They'll hate Jews. And then at some point when they're in their teens, they'll get sent into Israel as suicide bombers. But not before they make sure the parents know that they're coming. Because that's the sort of shit that happens. Now that it's been more than a year, more than half of the hostages have been killed. Now suddenly the world has heard about Kfir and Ariel. And what do we get? We get shit like this. It is not weaponizing the potential deaths of these children to point out that the world sat back, stuck their thumb up their asses, and didn't do anything for the fact that those children had been kidnapped. That is breaking international law, folks. You always love to go on about how Israel's breaking international law. Terrorism in a sovereign country, invading it, breaking the law. Taking hostages, breaking the law. I would say not allowing the Red Cross to see them, but guess what? The Red Cross never fucking cared. Unfortunately, Bitch Talk's filter to allow me to play a video isn't doing it. However, the Red Cross didn't show up once for the hostages for over a year until it comes time to sign them over. And you know what else they did? And you can find the video proof if you don't want to believe me. After the hostages were signed over, so they're now officially in the care of the Red Cross allowed Hamas to parade them back and forth on a stage. Look what all we have to give up in order to get 30 terrorists, convicted terrorists with blood on their hand, back. Just so we can have this poor little girl whose leg we broke twice in a year and didn't let her see a doctor. Girl's lucky she didn't die from a fatty embolism. I will tell you one very clear difference between Catholics and Protestants, Anglicans. The Catholic Church has constantly told Israel, don't respond to terror with terror. In other words, don't defend yourselves. Lay down and die for the colonizers, like good little Jews. Anglicans discover that that shouldn't actually say priest, because an Anglican doesn't have a priest, they have ministers. He decided that he wanted to do it's just a hand gesture thing in church. And now he no longer has a congregation, because you know what? A Nazi salute is a Nazi salute. And if it wasn't, the Nazis wouldn't be celebrating. Incidentally, seen it in print, but in case you haven't heard it, if you're on the left and suddenly Musk's Nazi salute offends you, shut the fuck up. Because most of you have been walking around with jihadists who have been doing the exact same gesture, but denying that those who are supporting Palestine want to commit a genocide. You've just been accusing us of committing a genocide while they've managed to produce 5,000 babies a month since the war they started. I hate to break it to you all, but you don't have a genocide unless the population goes down. Meanwhile, Musk, who is going to far-right groups all around the globe since he has the money, tells Germany they need to get over their guilt over the fact that they killed 6 million people. So what? Most of them were only Jews. But it wasn't a Nazi salute, right? Right.